One second, I will start recording from my side. One second, Prabhuji, one second. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Vishwarup Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of special topic today, Radhastami special, the emblem of love. Happy Radhastami to everyone. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I request Suresha Sham Prabhu, please go ahead and give the introduction.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji, and thank you Prabhuji for joining us today. So His Grace Vishwarup Prabhuji was introduced to ISKCON in 1983 during his medical college days. Prabhuji received his first initiation in 86 and then Brahmin initiation in 87. His Grace Vishwarup Prabhuji has introduced many doctors and family to Krishna consciousness and cultivated many young student doctors as spiritual counselors. He joined Radha Gopinath temple for full-time services in 86. He organized the medical camps in Western Maharashtra suburbs consisting of prasadam distribution, Harinaam Sankirtan, cultivating volunteers in Krishna consciousness and free medical services to villagers. Later on, Prabhuji moved to Rishikesh and Vrindavan to serve in many capacities. Prabhuji developed the Barsana Eye Camp service in 1992. He worked in Saudi Arabia from 95 to 97 as a medical doctor and conducted secret spiritual programs every Friday for an average 20 people. In 97, he joined Bhaktivedanta Hospital as officer on special duty. There he also assisted in establishing the Department of Spiritual Care. In 2004, His Grace Vishwarup Prabhuji took full responsibility of the Department of Spiritual Care as Deputy Director. He also started spiritual counseling services to nearby patients on outpatient basis. He developed a detailed protocol for end-of-life spiritual care, and he trains the staff members regularly on this subject. Now he is training medical doctors into special spiritual lifestyle and practices. He has developed a full-fledged curriculum in spiritual care in nursing based on teachings of Srila Prabhupada and for undergraduate and postgraduate nursing students, and implemented it in Bhaktivedanta Institute of Nursing from 2005. He extensively delivered spiritual discourses on Srimad Bhagavad Gita on various television channels like Star TV, Astha, ETC, Colors, and etc. He also delivered professional and spiritual discourses to medical professionals in UK and USA. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Suresha Sham Prabhu, for the brief introduction. Hare Krishna, Vishwarup Prabhu. Once again, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Happy Radhastami to you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining us today and giving your association. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you, Prabhu. Please take over. Hare Krishna.
My humble request to at least some of you to be on video, because I'm not trained to speak to video off situations. I'm trained to speak to people and not to the screen. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pranamami Haripriye Pranamami Haripriye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you all of you for giving me the opportunity to be with you overseas from Bharatvarsha and connect with you on this auspicious divine subject of Srimati Radharani. In one sense, if you think about this subject, it's a very intense, divine and transcendental subject. So much transcendental that even the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami, did not speak about it directly. So many of you may ask why Shukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, did not utter a word, that is Radha. So there are 4 reasons why he said that, why he did that, or rather why he did not utter the name of Radharani. Out of his humility, he felt he was not qualified to speak on this subject. Second reason was there were many kinds of people in the assembly of Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami who are like knowledge people. For example, Gyanis, Gyan Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis, Hatha Yogis, and many other people seeking the Lord in the path other than bhakti. So this topic is so esoteric that he could not discuss with them. Third reason was very important, or rather more practical reason. He was such a great devotee of Radharani himself that he is the incarnation of the very parrot of Radharani, whose name was Leela Shuka. And Leela Shuka, being a parrot of the Lord Radharani, was very, very dear to Radharani and was very intimate witness of all the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So he would go in trance for 6 months. Shana Masini Murcha. There's a shloka which says that if he would have uttered the word Radha, he would have gone into unconscious Murcha for 6 months. Shana Masini. So he was very compassionate over the person called Parikshit Maharaj, who had only 7 days to live and did not have much time. So if he utters the word Radharani and he goes to trance in 6 months, then what would Parikshit Maharaj do? And fourth reason was, suppose now I'm wearing this garland. What do you read in this? Sri Radha. Now I'm wearing it openly, but suppose I hide it under my cloth, then you all will be wondering what is it that Vishwarupdas is hiding in his cloth. So you'll all keep wondering while I'm talking, what is it that he's hiding? So your curiosity will increase and you can then relish the subject very nicely once after a long time of curiosity you come to know. So that's why he kept Radharani and her pastimes in a hidden way in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, as we have taken the topic out of Shukdev being the parrot of Radharani, I must tell you the story also. Radha and Krishna performed their pastimes on earth in Vrindavan and other places. Krishna went, Radharani did not go, for almost 125 years. And they all remained 16-year-old youth, and they performed their amorous, beautiful, loving, divine, transcendental Shringara Ras, Madhuri Ras pastimes. And time came to depart from this world, to go back to Golok Vrindavan, to the original abode. At that time, Leela Shuka, the parrot, also wanted to go with them back home. But Radha and Krishna told them, no, you are not going to come back. So he was very sad. He said, why? He said, your job is to narrate our pastimes to everybody in the world for their upliftment, for their spiritual benefit. So devotees are always eager to serve more than their personal enjoyment, their own, you can say selfish enjoyment. They will always give up that if there is service involved. Service is always higher for them from their own personal gain. So they said, you have to describe our pastimes to everybody else whenever possible. And lo and behold, although he was an eyewitness, closest witness, always sitting on the finger of Radharani, how close he must be in observing the loving, intense pastimes of Radha and Krishna. But he said, point to note, all of you, he said, I need to hear your pastimes from a great realized soul. Then I will be qualified to speak about your pastimes. This is called real understanding of a person who is a speaker of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and also the pastimes of the Lord. Even though he was eyewitness, he wanted to hear it from a realized soul. So he went to Kailash, and there our dear Lord Shiva was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to his dear wife Parvati. And he was not narrating like, like me, making notes and reading in between. He was in total trance, immersed in love for Radha and Krishna. And he was closed eyes narrating. And before he closed his eyes, he told his wife, to make me understand that you are hearing, please keep making sound. So in my closed eyes situation, I can understand that you are still awake and listening, so I can go on. So he closed his eyes and he went in trance and started describing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Sure enough, when third canto came, description of the creation, which is not kind of, filled with rasa or something. It's like very technical information about creation, and then the description of hells and heavens, and so many things are there. So she went to sleep. And this parrot had come there and was sitting on the branch of the tree, listening to the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he also had heard the conversation that Lord Shiva wanted Parvati to keep on nodding, making sound. As soon as he saw Parvati goes to sleep or she dozed off, he started making the sound of Parvati in her sound, saying because parrots are very expert in imitating anybody's sound. And he kept on doing that till the end of Bhagavatam. And at the end of the Bhagavatam, Parvati woke up. And when Lord Shiva opened his eyes, so she asked, is it over? Is it finished? He said, yes. So, no, I went to sleep. I did not hear anything after creation. So he said, then who was saying, Who was making the sound? So she said, I don't know. So she looked around, he looked around, and he saw a parrot listening on the branch of the tree. So he was very angry that how a subhuman living being can listen to the divine pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam, Radha and Krishna. So he wanted to kill the parrot instantly. So he picked up his trident and started chasing the parrot. And parrot started running and running and running in the range of Himalayas. He ran all the way, everywhere, and went to Badrikashram. And at Badrikashram, Srila Vyasadeva, Vedavyas, was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to his dear wife in the assembly of many other devotees. And here the scenario was a little different. The wife of Vedavyas was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam with rapt attention. So much rapt attention that she was like with open mouth. Sometimes when you have rapt attention, you don't know where is the position of your lower jaw. So she was like hanging her lower jaw with open like this. So this parrot running in the fear of the trident of Lord Shiva just entered the mouth of the wife of Vedavyas. And from there, he entered her womb. And she became pregnant. And then Vedavyas continued speaking, but when he entered the mouth, Vedavyas saw Lord Shiva coming running behind with a trident raised, So he asked, what happened? So Lord Shiva said, this subhuman living entity dared to come in the assembly without invitation to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, so it has to be killed. So Vedavyas very humbly folded hands. He said to Lord Shiva, my dear Lord Shiva, whoever has heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and that too from your lotus mouth, now he is no more subhuman living being. He is already delivered. He is already delivered. He is a Mukta Jiva. So what is the use of trying to kill a Mukta Jiva which is made Mukta by you only, by your own divine Vani, divine words. So Lord Shiva understood, yes, it is true. Because one of the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam is that whoever hears Srimad Bhagavatam, he gets delivered from the clutches of birth and death. He becomes Jivana Mukta. So Lord Shiva put his trident down, he went away. And then the parrot has heard Srimad Bhagavatam once from the lotus divine mouth of Lord Shiva. And now second time he hears Srimad Bhagavatam from the lotus mouth of Vedavyas, who is the writer, who is the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then this particular bird takes the human form in the womb of the wife of Vedavyas. And I think, if I'm not wrong, around 18 months pass of the pregnancy and the baby is not getting delivered. So Vedavyas was like upset. What happened? Usually 9 months is the limit. This is 12 months, 15 months, 18 months have passed and still the baby is not coming out. So he thought, let me recite Srimad Bhagavatam again for the baby to come out. So he recited Srimad Bhagavatam again in front of his own wife. And she heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and not only she, the baby in the womb also heard Srimad Bhagavatam for the third time. So his prerequisite of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees was fulfilled, and he came out. And then he came out as a boy who grew up as soon as he was born into 16-year-old youth. That's why Shukadev is called as Siddha Avatar. He is not an ordinary living entity. He took birth and he was not crawling and making sound and learning to talk and walk. He just grew into 16-year-old youth. And as he was born without clothes, naked, he just started walking away. And then Vedavyas, his dear father, being so attached to his son, is running behind him. My dear son, please don't go, please wait. But he just walked indifferently without even looking back, as if he didn't even hear the sound of his father. So after some time, the father gave up the effort because son was not even listening. And Shukadev kept on walking in the forest, and suddenly he heard two beautiful shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dasham Skanda, 10th canto, Baraha Pidam Natavara Vapu, which describes Sri Krishna and Balaram, the two brothers, walking in the forest with cowherd boys, playing on flutes, wearing peacock feather, herding cows, and wearing Vaijayanti Mala, flower garlands, playing on his flute. Very beautiful, sweet description of Krishna's body and Krishna's persona. And he stopped. So you were wondering who was speaking. So he saw small boys who were in the dress of a brahmachari, looking like students of some guru in ashram, in Gurukul. They were reciting these slokas while they were cutting wood. Obviously, for the pleasure of Guru, they must be cutting the wood. So he asked the students, who are you and from where did you learn these shlokas? So they very humbly said, our Guru Maharaj has taught us this, so we are reciting this. So he said, can we meet your Guru Maharaj? Can you introduce me to your Guru Maharaj? So yes, all the boys collected their wood and they took Shukadev back to the home of Vedavyas, because Vedavyas were their Guru and they were students of Vedavyas. So there he again, fourth time, scrutinizingly studied under the guidance of Vedavyas. Now as a student, and father was a teacher, and he taught Srimad Bhagavatam in a very scrutinizing technical way. That means chandas and vyakarana and every single thing very beautifully narrated, along with the zest, the meaning, the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can imagine after 4th time hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, 3 times from Father, 1 time from Lord Shiva. After that, he has spoken Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And I already told you the reason why he was not able to take the name of Radharani. So, our Acharyas also explain that who can understand Radharani? So the answer is those who are free from the attraction of opposite sex. They can understand the real meaning of Radha and the real depth of the personality of Radha and the essence of love that she has for Krishna. And it's also explained that one should not discuss intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna in common forum of people. Because please do not send messages in between the lecture. It's quite distracting. So it is explained that moment we speak about Radha and Krishna in common public, then common public who are not very pure at heart, they start understanding it as if they see the men and women in the world, what they do when they come together. So their worldly understanding of relationship between men and women come in their mind when they hear the divine pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and they totally misunderstand it and take out wrong meanings from that. And they start considering the Lord and Radharani as ordinary living beings, ordinary boy and girl like we are, or we are in this world. So before we go into beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which are, which we can narrate, which are not so intimate, but they enough describe the glory of Radha and Krishna. We have to understand that who is Radharani, first of all. Radharani is internal potency of Krishna. Krishna has got 3 different Shaktis. Rather, he has got unlimited Shaktis. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Suyate. He has got Vividha, that is unlimited variety of powers. And all these unlimited number of powers are divided into 3 categories. One category is external energy, which is represented or personified by Durga Devi, Bahiranga Shakti. Second category is Tatastha Shakti, or marginal potency, in between. And the marginal potency is manifested as all of us, you and me and all the other living entities, human and non-human. All of us are called as the Ansha of Krishna, the part and parcel of Krishna, and we represent marginal potency, Tatastha Shakti. And then comes the internal potency, Antaranga Shakti, which is personified as Radharani. And Radharani is the source of Vairanga Shakti. Radharani is the source of all the Devis like Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Durga Devi and Chandika Devi, and whichever Devis you know, all those Devis are created by Radharani. All the Gopis are created by Radharani. All the queens of Krishna in Dwarka are the expansion of Radharani. And in quality, she is love personified. Although Sri Krishna has created her originally. And what is she created of? Krishna has got 6 Aishwaryas. We all know that Krishna has got unlimited power, unlimited fame, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, unlimited renunciation. And the 6th one is called Shri. Shri is defined as beauty. Shri is also understood as wealth. Shri also is understood as Karuna or Kripa or mercy. So this aspect of Krishna's Aishwarya, that is Shri, becomes represented as Antaranga Shakti or manifests as Radharani. So Krishna has got unlimited qualities. One of them is Karuna, which is also unlimited in him. But when it gets separated from Krishna and it becomes manifested as a separate person, then the karuna of Krishna gets multiplied millions of times and comes in front of all of us as Radharani. So when the karuna is in Krishna, it is X. But when it manifests separately from Krishna as the internal potency Radharani, it becomes millionfold than Krishna's karuna. That is why after he creates Radharani, or he has one time created Radharani at a anadikal, unknown when it happened, but at one point of time, in the sequence of time, when Radharani was created, Krishna started becoming dependent on the karuna of Radharani. Although he is the source and creator of Radharani, he becomes subordinate to Radharani's mercy and Radharani's compassion, because Radharani is the emblem of love. She is a very epitome of love. And Krishna owns everything, but Krishna is dependent on the love of all of us, which comes from Radharani. And all love, Radharani is the source of all love in this world. All devotion, all love comes from her. You and me, you and myself, all of you and myself, we all may think that we have some love for Krishna. We like Krishna. We have faith in him. We have some seed of devotion in us. We have some devotion in us. But we have to understand that all that seed of devotion, all that love that we feel we have, all the trace of love that we have, all that originates from her. It comes from her. It is her mercy that we have that connection or that tendency of loving the Supreme Lord Krishna, because she is the storehouse of love for Krishna. So Radharani is eternally enthusing all of us, each and everybody of us, each and every living entity is enthusing, perfusing all of us with the desire to please Krishna, because she is the very personification of the activity of pleasing Krishna. The whole success of our life, our whole goal of our life is to please Krishna. And she is the teacher or the master of the art of pleasing Krishna. And her only job, what she wants to do, is love Krishna and enthuse everybody to love Krishna. So, very interesting. I already told you that the queens of Krishna, they were the expansion of Radharani. So one time, all the queens of Krishna of Dwarka, they met Draupadi, and they asked Draupadi that we have one husband and we are so many thousands of wives here, but none of us are able to, control Krishna. He is so Sutantra, Abhigya Swarat personality. And you are one wife and you have 5 husbands, and how you wonderfully control your 5 husbands. What is the secret? So Draupadi has revealed the secret here. The first principle in controlling, how to control your husband, the first principle is give up the mentality of controlling. Very beautiful answer. The wife controls the husband only through the medium of service and love. So she said, you please give up this desire to control and just serve with love. Serve your husband with love. And through that service, through that selfless service, which is only intended to please the husband becomes automatically, willingly controlled. Because love means there's only one thought. How can I please my beloved? Through anything that I do, my activity, my glance, my talks, my words, my activities, just to serve and please. That is the meaning of love. And what does lust mean? Lust mean what I am going to get out of it in this relationship. What is my gain? When one thinks like that, the love gets spoiled and it becomes lust. And lust never satisfies. Lust is always agitating and overwhelming to every living entity when one expects something for oneself through any relationship. So with these few words, Radharani's glories are unlimited. She is the personification of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. And pure devotional service is explained by our Acharya, Rupa Goswami, in the book called Nectar of Devotion. I have got in front of me. This book is Nectar of Devotion. In Sanskrit, it is called as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasa, the mellow of Bhakti, Amruta, which is nectarian, and Sindhu means ocean. The ocean of the nectarian mellow of devotion. And Prabhupada made it simple. He entitled it as Nectar of Devotion. But the real word is Bhakti Rasa Amruta Sindhu. And it is explained, please understand all of you, this particular book, Nectar of Devotion, is supposed to be Radharani herself, personified Radharani. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Bhakti Rasamrut is Radharani herself. And another factor is, what did Shukadeva Goswami speak in Bhagavatam? What is the subject matter? The subject matter begins from the end point of Bhagavad Gita, that is surrender, Sharanagati, Samarpana. And from Samarpana, the subject begins and ends in love. So Bhagavatam is supposed to be the discussion about love. What is the love between gopis and Radharani and Krishna? What is the love between the cowherd boys and Krishna? What is the love between Nanda, Yashoda and elderly Gopas and Krishna? What is the love between cows and Krishna? All varieties of love are described in details in Srimad Bhagavatam. So subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam is love. And who is the personification of love? Is Radharani. So Shukadeva Goswami Maharaj is narrating about Radharani without taking her name by describing all the loving pastimes of Krishna with his devotees. So the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is actually in one line, pure devotional service explained in disguise. So what is pure devotional service? Rupa Goswami explains, Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavratam Anukullena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. Shuddha Bhakti means Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, no other desire than pleasing Krishna. It is not contaminated by knowledge and karma. It is favorable to Krishna. Krishna Anushilanam. It is not pratikul to Krishna. It is anukul to Krishna. It is favorable. And that is called as Uttam Bhakti. Bhakti that delivers one from ignorance, darkness of ignorance. And it is defined, it is classified by 6 items. That is called, what do you get when you perform Shuddha Bhakti? That means Radharani is the emblem of Shuddha Bhakti. She is a personification of Shuddha Bhakti. But what does she do? Or when she gives us Bhakti, what do? We serve Krishna favorably and selflessly just to please him. And what happens when we start doing it? We may not have become pure devotee, but still we are performing Shuddha Bhakti. So what do we experience? First thing we experience is mitigation of all miseries. Kleshagni. Second we experience is Shubhada. Everything becomes very auspicious. Third we experience is Sandrananda Visheshatma. That means one starts experiencing joy, bliss, happiness, freedom from fear, anxiety. That is the first experience. Immediate experience. You start feeling blissful immediately. Fourth one is Moksha Laguta Krita. Everybody is working hard to achieve moksha. That moksha becomes very insignificant compared to the happiness experienced out of bhakti or love. And fifth item is, one understands that what I am getting is very, very, very rare. In Sanskrit, it's called as Sudurlabha. The experience of bhakti is that I understand it is very, very rare what I am experiencing. And the last one and most important, which actually very directly represents Radharani, is Shuddha Bhakti is Sri Krishna Akarshini. It attracts the attention of Krishna. Your knowledge, unlimited, vast Vedic knowledge does not attract Krishna. Our austerities, severe austerities do not impress Krishna. Our expertise in doing karma doesn't impress Krishna. Our being expert mystic doesn't impress Krishna. What impresses Krishna is love. What impresses Krishna is Shuddha Bhakti. And that is why it attracts Krishna. And what attracts Krishna is Radharani. So that is why Shuddha Bhakti is Radharani. And Radharani is Shuddha Bhakti. But that attracts Krishna. So whoever reflects the quality of Radharani, of selfless devotion, selfless love, that attracts Krishna. So another point I want to tell you, because it is all practical point. We sing Shikshashtakam every day in the temple. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam. And we go on. It is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The last chapter of the last canto of Chaitanya Charitamrita is talking about Shikshashtakam, written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Shikshashtakam prayer is Radharani's love for Krishna manifested to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The recitation of Shikshashtakam prayer, the benediction which is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita last chapter by the writer Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, is one will develop love for Krishna for sure if one recites Chaitanya Shikshashtakam every day without fail. And one may not understand the intricate understanding of language of Sanskrit of Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, but simply recites with faith and love and devotion. One day he will definitely develop love for Godhead. That is what the benediction, Phalashruti of chanting Shikshashtakam. So, let us talk about now Radharani in possible extent, or whatever we can describe. How Yamuna Devi was created in Golok Vrindavan. Radharani and gopis performed Rasa Leela with Krishna in Golok of Vrindavan, the original spiritual divine abode of Krishna's residence. And when they performed their Rasa Leela, divine water came out of their body. You know, what water comes out of our body is called as sweat. And that is not very good thing. It smells bad. It makes you feel sick. Although it is good to sweat and take out all the toxins, but it doesn't make you feel fresh. Whenever sweat comes, you need to take bath to feel nice and to, get pure. We cannot go in a sweaty condition to temple, inside the temple to dress the Lord or worship the Lord. You have to take bath. But when such divine waters come out of the body of Radha and Krishna and gopis, it is divinely fragrant, mesmerizingly fragrant, exotically fragrant. It's divine. It's called as Svedajal. The perverted English word of that is sweat. But the original Sanskrit word is Sveda, Svedajal. And Sved is always fragrant. And such waters, when they came out of the body, pores of gopis, Radha and Krishna, they got collected in the form of a pond. That pond was not only fragrant, large and expansive, but it also was effulgent and very beautiful and attractive to the eyes of beholder. So next day, Radharani brought Krishna to the bank of the pond and observed this pond. And she was so impressed and so enamored that she told Krishna that this pond is so beautiful. Why it has to be stagnant in one place? It has to be flowing. Let it be flowing. Instantly, when she said that, Krishna fulfilled her desire and made the pond flowing. And that flowing pond, the waters which are flowing, they became Yamuna. But this is how Yamuna ji was born. So who is the cause behind the birth of Yamuna in spiritual world? That is our dear Radharani. Because of her mercy, Yamuna came into existence. How important Yamuna is, we will talk on some other subject on some other day. How important ingredient of Yamuna is of Golok Vrindavan and of the Bhauma Vrindavan, which manifested on earth later on. Now next comes Govardhan. What is the origin of Govardhan? So after performing Rasa Leela many times, one time Radharani met Krishna in person in seclusion. She said, "O Sri Krishna, I desire to perform intimate, private, confidential, loving pastimes with you. And for that, I need a very special place where only we can meet and exchange our love. At that time, Krishna closed his eyes and listen very carefully. What is important here? Krishna meditated on the love that he has for Radharani in his heart with closed eyes. And when he was meditating in the vast, expansive ocean of love of Radharani that he has and what she has for him, out came effulgence from his chest. From front of his chest, out came effulgence and settled down on the floor of divine Golok Vrindavan and grew as Govardhan mountain. Everybody was beholding the beautiful development of the mountain. So what is Govardhan? Govardhan is manifestation of Krishna's love for Radharani. We all go to Vrindavan and we all go and perform our parikrama. While performing parikrama, while listening to the pastimes of Krishna and Radha at Govardhan, while listening to pastimes of Govardhan itself, himself, we have to all keep in mind this understanding that this whole mountain is the manifestation of love of Krishna for Radharani. And it has also come out because of her only, because she wanted to create or she wanted to have a place where they can perform their pastimes. And the place has to be very beautiful. It cannot be just any seclusion place. So Govardhan is filled with caves, waterfalls, gardens, greenery, trees, fruits, flowers, sitting places, ponds, jewels, jadi booty, herbs, fragrance, every single thing that needs to be to make Radha and Krishna get inspired to perform their loving pastimes, all present in Govardhan. Govardhan is a silent leader. He leads all the service to Krishna in all the rasas, but at the background in a very silent way. And he is a very example of how a devotee should be. And that great example of Govardhan was created simply because of Radharani's desire. And then Radharani is so attached to Sri Vrindavan Dham, Sri Yamuna ji and Sri Govardhan that she told Krishna, when Krishna declared to Bhumi Devi that I will be appearing very soon to deliver you of all your sufferings. So Radharani said, I will not come with you if there is no Vrindavan, no Yamuna and no Govardhan. I cannot live without it. It's impossible. So Krishna said, I know your mind. I know you very well. I know your desire. So I've already sent Vrindavan with full Yamuna and full Govardhan to the material world, to the planet Earth. So imagine, today we are living in India. Fortunately, all of us, most of us have taken birth in India as a great fortune, because land of divinity, Deva Loka. And it is explained that Vrindavan Dham has come to Bharatavarsha simply because of the desire of Radharani. If Radharani wouldn't have desired, Krishna would not have sent Vrindavan, Yamuna and Govardhan on earth. So today if you and me go to Vrindavan and see Yamuna flowing very beautifully, Sri Govardhan standing very gracefully, Sri Vrindavan, the land of Vrindavan, standing out effulgently, beautifully, attractively, is all her mercy. That is why we are advised by pure devotees, the saintly people, the great devotees of Radha and Krishna. They have been advising us always be praying for the mercy of Radharani at the bottom of your heart while you are in Vrindavan. From the point of entry, constantly one has to pray for the mercy of Radharani at the bottom of our hearts with gratitude in the heart. Gratefully and gracefully we have to pray to Radharani's mercy. One can connect to Krishna and Radharani and Vrindavan Dham, or one can actually be in Vrindavan spiritually, not physically with this mortal body. In spirit, if you want to enter Vrindavan or stay in Vrindavan or be in Vrindavan or dwell in Vrindavan, it is possible only by sanction and mercy of Radharani. Because she is the queen of Vrindavan. She is Vrindavaneshwari. Krishna may be the Lord of Vrindavan, but no one chants his name in Vrindavan. Everybody chants Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Every leaf, every blade of grass, every bird, every living entity, every drop of sand or every atom of sand, dust, chants Radhe Radhe in Vrindavan. Because that is what it means, that Krishna is subordinate to Radharani's love in Vrindavan. He gives up his position as Supreme Lord and willingly and desiringly becomes subordinate to her love, because of her love is so powerful and so overwhelming that Krishna chooses to love Radharani and Krishna chooses to be subordinate to Radharani's love. He chooses to be under her control and desires to be controlled by her. His activities can be controlled by her. He gives whole authority to her only. He goes and rolls in the dust of Vrindavan, especially the Barsana part of Vrindavan, because there Radharani walks barefoot on that sand, on that dust. So he rolls. Then he rolls in the dust, offers pranams to Radharani in that dust. And then when she becomes upset, he also sheds tears, rolling under her feet, cries for her mercy. One cannot imagine what is her position. Shad Aishwarya Purna, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir, that Govinda, who is the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is bowing down to somebody. So you can imagine how that person must be, how great that person must be, whom the Supreme Parabrahma is bowing down, not only bowing down, but rolling, not only rolling, but shedding tears of love, begging for mercy and love. It is said that Radharani is a source of all Vedic knowledge. How? When she walks in a very graceful manner in Sri Barsana Dham, her ankle bells makes beautiful sound. And that dhvani, that nad, that beautiful sound of her ankle bells gives rise to Vedas. So the real Vedas are not coming from Krishna, although it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Vedaham samatitani, Vedaisya sarvair ahameva vedyo, Vedant krit veda videva chaham, Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto, Mata kruti jnanam apavancha. I am the source of all knowledge, the memory and the forgetfulness. I am the source of all Vedas. I am to be known from Vedas. I am the Vedas. I am the creator of Vedas. Yes, at one level it is true. He is the agency of Vedas. But the original Vedas, they come from the sound of the ankle bells of Radharani, from where it is captured by Krishna, and then it, like through the agency of Krishna, it becomes marketed as Vedas. So all knowledge comes out of Krishna or Radharani. Then all the love, which is called as rasa. Rasa means the mellow, the essence. When we concentrate something, it is called rasa. Like we have a flower of rose. Then you concentrate, centrifuge and extract. And what comes is rose essence or rose water. And you further concentrate, it becomes rose itra. It's very, very intensely fragrant. So that is called as the essence of the flower of rose. So the essence of all love is called rasa. And it is of many types. So all types of rasas of love, they emanate from Radharani. And Krishna may be called as Rasaraj, no doubt about it. Krishna may be called as Rasavihari or Rasabihari. But from where it originates from Radharani. So Krishna becomes Rasaraj after accepting the rasa from Radharani, and then he develops it, and then he becomes himself Rasaraj. Krishna is called Nataraj. He is an expert dancer. His dance is so captivating. But who has taught him dance? His Natyashala teacher is Radharani. At the banks of Yamuna at various spots, she teaches him dance. And then he puts strong steps purposefully so that he can associate with Radharani for more time. Because if you put wrong steps, then she will keep teaching him again and again. Arey, put like this, Baba, put like this. So that will give more time. And then she comes to know that he is cheating me. Although he is a very expert student, he can pick up things very fast, but he is just fooling me by putting wrong steps purposely. The point I am conveying here is Krishna may be Nataraj, but the dancing skills are taught by Radharani. Krishna may be called as Murli Manohar. He is the expert flute player. His flute mesmerizes the whole creation, including Mahavishnu, including Garbhodakshai Vishnu, including Narsimha Dev, including Lord Ram, including every other expansion of Krishna. They all get mesmerized. The whole creation, material and spiritual. Everything gets mesmerized. The sound of the flute penetrates all the layers of creation and makes people mad. Krishna is so famous for his flute. In fact, flute is Bansi Priya Sakhi, the very dear accompaniment of Krishna in Vrindavan Dham is the flute, Bansi. Now, Radharani is the original teacher of flute playing to Krishna. At the banks of Yamuna, sitting on the branch of a tree, Krishna sitting on the ground with folded hands and learning flute from Krishna, from Radharani. So Krishna has learned the art of flute playing from Radharani. She is his flute teacher. And all such things I can go on and on explaining to you. All such things. The teacher is Radharani to Krishna. Even the art of love, she teaches Krishna. She gives that gift of love. She makes Krishna enamored by power of her love. She is the real teacher to all of us also. That the real relationship is not external. The real and the topmost definition of any relationship is love. If there is no love, the relationship does not last for a longer time. We may say love, love, I love you, you love me. But unless there is selflessness in love, unless there is concentration on the item of pleasing the beloved, the relationship cannot last long. And that love, which is everlasting, eternal, transcendental, beyond the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Raja and Tama, that love is pure love, selfless love. And Radharani is the emblem of that love. And Sri Krishna receives that love from Radharani, from the agency of Radharani. So now, let us understand the power of that love. One time, Sri Krishna was playing Rasa Leela in the month of spring season, Vasanta Rutu, which we know as Chaitra Vaishak in our Indian calendar, maybe April, May, or maybe mid-March to mid-April, mid-April to mid-May, Chaitra Vaishak, where Lord Ram takes birth in Chaitra Navami, Chaitra Navaratri is there, then Hanuman Jayanti is there in that month, when Narsingh Bhagwan also takes birth in Vaishak Purnima. So Krishna hid himself suddenly, and the gopis became very, very desperate for Krishna. And they were like mad women calling out for Krishna, searching him from place to place, asking the trees, asking the creepers, asking the birds, asking the Gramya Devata, asking the Vanya Devata, have you seen our dear Krishna? Have you seen our blue Krishna, Neelamani, the treasure of our heart? Have you seen? We have lost the treasure of our heart in the forest. So suddenly Krishna wanted to play a trick. Krishna is a very, how to say, notorious, naughty. Notorious is a little bad word, but naughty is a very sweet word. So he's a very naughty person. He also always want to pull legs of his beloved. So he assumed the form of four-armed Vishnu, and he stood on the highway, main road. In the forest also there are ways, some big ways, small ways. So he stood on the main way from where the gopis were walking and searching for him. And he stood with four arms, Shankha, Chakra, Padma, Gata, the opulences of Vishnu, of Vaikuntha. We don't see Shankha, Chakra, Padma and Gada in Vrindavan anywhere in the hands of Krishna. What do you see in the hands of Krishna? Only flute. They're always playing flute. That's all. But suddenly the items of Vaikuntha, items of opulence, Aishwarya manifested. There are no four arms in Vrindavan. Nobody has four arms. Everybody has four arms in Vaikuntha, including Lakshmi Devi and including Krishna, Vishnu and all the inmates of Vaikuntha, all of them are four-armed. But in Vrindavan, everybody is two-armed. Dvibhuja. Suddenly four-armed, Aishwarya Sampanna personality appeared. And the gopis came. And suddenly they saw Vishnu. They bowed down to Vishnu and said, "Oh Vishnu Maharaj, please accept our pranams. Our most humble, respected, revered obeisances to you. Please bless us. And now let us know, have you seen Krishna?" Imagine if you and me meet Krishna, Vishnu on the road. He will just stick there and said, "Vishnu, please give us few minutes. I want to make a list of application to you. How many desires we have, please fulfill." But the gopis bowed down to them, and the first question they asked, "Where is our beloved Krishna? Have you seen where he has gone?" So Vishnu, the Krishna in the form of Vishnu was completely getting overwhelmed. The kind of love they were expressing. But somehow he composed himself. He did not, collapse or something. And with one of the forearms holding that Aishwarya Sampanna item, he pointed, "Go that side. He has gone this way." Now all the gopis immediately left Vishnu and ran. And then Radharani was coming from behind. And one bumblebee, Bhavra, was, moving around her while she was walking. And she was thinking that Bhavra, the black Bhavra, because he's black colored, she was thinking he's Krishna. And she was talking to him as Krishna and giving bad words to him. "How cruel you are. What kind of a lover you are. Is this the way to give up our company and hurt us and make us miserable?" And she was using bad words, and suddenly while talking in the trance to that bumblebee, as if he was Krishna and using bad words in immersed bhav, suddenly she sees Vishnu. So she immediately starts talking to that bumblebee and bows down to Vishnu and asks Vishnu, "Have you seen my beloved Krishna?" The way she expressed her agony and inquired, the Krishna in the form of Vishnu, out of control. He could not maintain his forearms. He could not maintain holding those four opulent items, and all of them disappeared. Two arms disappeared, and out of control, Krishna's remaining two arms developed flute and started playing flute. He was not planning to, he was trying to maintain his Aishwarya form to fool gopis. But Krishna's Aishwarya form could not be maintained by the stormy ocean of love, Madhurya love of Radharani. Let me explain to you. There's something called Madhurya. Madhurya means sweetness, and Madhurya doesn't need any opulence. It doesn't need gold or jewels or shine or opulence. It doesn't need anything. It's simple from the heart. It's to be felt by the heart. Opulence is to be felt by eyes, touch, feel, hear. You can see the sound of the ornaments or see the ornaments dazzling, the mukuta and everything. That is Aishwarya. So Vaikuntha is Aishwarya and Vrindavan is Madhurya. And Radharani is the emblem of Madhurya. So it is said that Krishna fails to maintain the divine opulence that he has in Vrindavan Dham. However, he tries his best. And he wants to maintain. He is struggling to maintain. But the Madhurya of Radharani is so overwhelming that he never understands when he has lost his Aishwarya. And when he has transformed into form of Krishna, when he has become two-armed, and when his two-armed have started playing flute without his control. So automatically, when Radharani asked that question, Krishna found himself in two-armed form playing flute with his two arms. And Krishna could not hide himself. His hiding disguise was exposed by the power of love of Radharani. So today also we have that place called Chaturbhuj Narayan Mandir in Petha Gaon, in Pravishtavan. That's called as Pravishtavan. Today it's called Petha. In that village, still there is Murti of Chaturbhuj Narayan. And that Narayan is not Narayan, it is Krishna in disguise. It is Krishna only. Who has failed miserably to maintain his Vishnu form there. He's been defeated by Radharani by the power of love, overwhelming love. So there are other beautiful pastimes also. Like there is a place called Manasi Ganga, where Ganga Devi, the sister of Yamuna Devi, had requested Yamuna Devi, please let me also have some place in Vrindavan Dham. You are so fortunate that Krishna is always taking bath in you. You have become Charanamrut hundreds of times. You have become substrate for Krishna's water pastimes. You have given so much pleasure. Krishna always is embracing you, always in your waters and purifying your existence, making you so divine. So why don't you request him to give me also some place? So Krishna manifested Manasi Ganga, manifested Ganga from his heart, from his mind. That's why it's called as Manasi Ganga, Ganga which came out of his mind and remained in the middle of Govardhan as a big lake, big pond. It's called Manasi Ganga pond. And then Krishna used that pond, which is like ocean-like pond in the middle of Govardhan. Krishna used that pond to perform water boating pastimes, which we call in Sanskrit as Nauka Vihar Leela. Nauka is boat, Vihar means pastimes or boating. Nauka Vihar is called boating. And Leela means divine pastimes, so not in the tinge of material world. So from Manasi Ganga part of Govardhan, towards the north is Barsana, towards south is Mathura. And the gopis would come from north, Barsana Nandagaon side, and often they would cross this lake in the boat and go on the south side of the lake and then walk and go to Mathura to sell their butter or milk or yogurt. And many times they would take boat. So one time they took the boat. It was like late, they were late and many boats had gone and only one old boatman was remaining with his dilapidated old boat. So gopis all came and said, oh dear boatman uncle, can you take us across? He said, yes, yes. So he decided how will you pay me? So they decided that we'll give you one pot of yogurt at the end of our journey and you take us and we'll give you. So everything was agreed upon and then we started traveling. As soon as little distance was traveled, the boatman said, see, I am not eaten for the whole day. I'm hungry. I don't have any strength to row the boat. So your charge, you give me now only. Whatever we have decided, that a pot of yogurt you will give me now only. Otherwise, I will not be able to row the boat only. I'm so weak. They said, okay, what to do? The agreement is to give in the end. Generally, we pay the rickshawala, taxiwala in the end only. But this boatman is a very unique man. In the middle of the water, he's telling us, I cannot row anymore. So let us, okay, fine. So they gave him yogurt. He ate the whole pot of yogurt and what he says, now after having full stomach yogurt, I'm feeling sleepy. So let me have some rest. And I have a habit of getting massaged at my feet and hands when I'm sleeping. I have a habit at home. So some of your girls can massage my hands and feet. They chastised him. What nonsense. You can take rest. Don't expect any massage. So he took some rest and again started rowing the boat. After rowing some distance, he says, the boat is becoming heavy. The boat is almost sinking. Water is coming inside the boat. Look from this hole. Look, some water is coming inside. So they said, what to do now? He said, your luggage you are carrying with you is very heavy. You have to empty, throw away all the pots in the water. Now, so we wanted to go to sell those things and make money. That's our profession. And now we are talking about life and death situation. Otherwise, you will die, your boat will sink, and I don't know. I know swimming, you don't know swimming. So helplessly, he made the gopis throw all the pots of yogurt, butter, milk, everything in the water of Manasi Ganga. And then he said, okay, it's a little better now, we can row. After rowing for some time, he says, boat is still heavy. You remove all the ornaments because they are also, causing weight. So helplessly, all the ornaments also were thrown by the gopis in the water. And then he said, now again the boat is heavy. So you should remove all your clothes and throw in the water. He said, we will slap you and we'll remove your clothes and throw you in the water. So he was kind of, okay. And after some time, There was a storm, thunders in the sky, clouds gathered in the sky. There was thunders coming in the sky, bijli was coming, lightning was coming. And the situation becomes so fearful, windy and dark. And Radharani is out of fear. She went and embraced the boatman. And she realized that the boatman was Krishna actually. The boatman was Krishna in disguise. He wanted to have pastime. So she asked, why did you do this Leela today? He said, now I wanted you to come in the middle of the water, far from the land, and have private pastimes with you. So immediately the dilapidated boat became divine, jewel-studded boat, very opulent and beautiful and shining. And the clouds went away, the thunders went away, lightning went away, it became so peaceful. It was already evening time. So the whole night Krishna performed boating pastimes with Radha and Krishna. And one night of Brahmaji was included in that one night of earth. And one night of Brahmaji is 432 crores. 4,320 billion years was included in one night of earth. And that much time the gopis and Radharani performed boating pastimes. So then comes, there's a place called as Jawat, Jawat. I'll tell one story because time is getting up. So Jawat is a place where you all know that when Brahma stole the baby cows and baby bulls and all the cowherd boys, he stole. And then Krishna expanded himself into all the cowherd boys, all the baby cows and baby bulls, and went back home as if nothing had changed. So all the cowherd boys were Krishna. All the baby cows and baby bulls were Krishna. They returned home. So every mother got the experience of having Krishna as their own child, which they desired, which they always prayed for. So Krishna expanded as the babies of all the gopis, elderly gopis. And Krishna became cows. So all the cows wanted Krishna as their baby. So all the calves were Krishna. So they suckled their udders and the cows got tremendous happiness by feeding Krishna their milk, not knowing that the calf was Krishna himself. But they experienced that pleasure. All the gopis, marriageable gopis, they got married with all the gopas who were Krishna. So all the gopis had desire to marry with Krishna. So Krishna became all the cowherd boys in Vrindavan Dham and suggested his father that now the time is very auspicious. Let all gopis get married with all the suitable cowherd boys. So good matchings were done. All the gopis got married with all the cowherd boys, and all the cowherd boys were Krishna. So Krishna fulfilled all the gopis, young gopis' desire to become their husband. So in this process, Abhimanyu, the expansion of Krishna or personification of shadow of Krishna, is Krishna himself, but in the illusory form. Abhimanyu was Krishna's shadow. So Radharani got married to him. And his mother was Jatila, his sister was Kutila. You can understand from the word. Jatila and Kutila means complicated. Very difficult is Jatila, and Kutila means very complicated. So the name suggested their role was to just prevent Radha and Krishna from meeting. And Abhimanyu became the husband, and that time he was Krishna himself. And finally, when Brahma brought the cowherd boys back and Krishna withdrew his forms, the original Abhimanyu came, and his role was only to protect Radharani from meeting Krishna. Jatila Kutila's role was only to protect Radharani from meeting Krishna. That was their service, to increase the love into anticipation. So one time, Radharani was in separation from Krishna, and she was crying, and she fainted in that separation from Krishna as if she was bitten by a snake. As if she was bitten by a snake, she fainted. And then there was a big news that, Radharani has fainted because of snake bite. And then Champaklata, the closest friend of Radharani, Champaklata, brought one mysterious village girl to the house of Jatila Kutila, where Radharani was unconscious with the so-called snake bite. And she said, Mother Jatila, this is a village girl. She is very mysterious. She is very skilled and powerful into removing the poison of snakes. So can I bring her to relieve Radharani of the poison of the snake bite? Jatila said immediately to bring her. So this girl told Jatila that I will take out the poison from this girl only on one condition. I should be allowed to be alone in the closed room with this girl. Then I will chant my mantras and relieve her of all the poison. So yes, the emergency was such that whatever you say, relieve this girl. So this girl was actually Krishna, disguised as a girl, aboriginal village girl, brought by Champaklata's arrangement. And he, in the form of that girl, went inside the room and closed the room. And then he asked what he was going to do, which mantras he is going to chant. Everybody wants to hear. So everybody was putting their ears on the door. Jatila, Kutila, Champaklata, Gopis, everybody wanted to listen what he is saying. So inside he goes, close the door, and he asks as if he's talking to the snake. As if he's talking to a snake, he's asking, oh snake, why did you beat this girl? Then Krishna is speaking in the voice of a snake, like he sings, like this he's talking. What he's asking in the snake voice, he's responding, because I hate Jatila and Kutila. And Krishna is himself asking in his own voice, why? In snake voice is answering, because they stop Radharani from going to Pavan Sarovar to cook for Krishna. There is a pastime in which Vishwarup requested mother of Radharani, Kirtida, to send her to Pavan Sarovar to cook for Krishna every day, because Radharani was blessed by Durvasa Muni to cook transcendentally nectarian food, which will make the eater free from all disease, which will make the eater always victorious and free from all disease. This boon was given by Durvasa Muni to Radharani. So after hearing the boon, Yashoda went and requested Mother Kirtida to send Radharani to cook for Krishna, so that Krishna becomes victorious and always remains healthy and enjoys the nectarian food. It was explained that Mother Yashoda also concluded that Krishna could kill all the demons because he was eating the nectarian food from the hands of Radharani every day. That's why he was powerful, he was victorious, and he could kill. Even everybody concluded when he lifted Govardhan, they concluded that it was because of Radharani he could lift Govardhan mountain. So it was promise of Kirti Mata to send Radharani. She fulfilled the promise. Then she got married, came to Jatila Kutila's house, and they were also supposed to fulfill the promise and keep sending Radharani. But the snake is telling now, Jatila Kutila, in between, do not send her. So I am getting angry on her. If that is why I have bitten Radharani, because I know if Radharani dies, Jatila Kutila also will die and my revenge will be over. So Krishna is speaking now in his own voice. How will you release this girl from your poison? Then he answering in snake voice. Only if Jatila and Kutila bow down to me, fall at my feet. That means fall at the feet of Radharani. That means the snake is in the form of poison in the body of Radharani. If they bow down to me, apologize profusely, and promise me that they will send Radharani every day without fail, without a break, then I will remove all my poison from the body, delicate body of Radharani. As soon as the Jatila and Kutila heard this from inside, they opened the door and crashed inside and fell at the feet of Radharani in the form of, thinking that it's snake and poison. Please, we promise you, we surrender, we promise you, we apologize thoroughly, sorry, extremely sorry. We will never ever stop her from going to Pavan Sarovar to Nandagaon to cook for Krishna. And immediately Radharani woke up. So thus Krishna came in the form of a snake charmer girl to meet Radharani. So like that, there are many pastimes. Krishna came to Kokilavan and made sounds like Kokila, cuckoo bird. And Radharani was very enamored at her in-law's house and said, my mother-in-law, my dear mother, can we go to hear that beautiful cuckoo bird? And the Jatila said, yes, yes, I'm also very eager, but I'm an old lady. I cannot walk far distance. You please go and hear the beautiful sound of the Kokila and tell me exactly how he was singing. So Vishaka Devi proposed this, and Radharani, Vishaka, Gopis went to Kokilavan and heard the beautiful cuckoo. And then that cuckoo was not cuckoo, it was Krishna. They met Krishna. So finally, Krishna is described as Atmaram in Srimad Bhagavatam, self-satisfied personality. He doesn't require anybody else to satisfy himself. But in the devotional circles, it is explained that Radharani is the Atma of Krishna. And in devotional circles, it is explained further that the self-satisfied Krishna cries for the association of Radharani, cries for her presence, misses her, goes in separation from her, becomes unconscious, starts rolling in the dust. How it is possible? So for the people who understand the Parabrahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma level understanding of the Lord, for them Krishna presents himself as Atmaram. But those who are devotees, those who are bhaktas of Krishna, for him, he reveals his original nature. That although he is self-satisfied, self-dependent, swatantra, abhigya, swarat, he chooses out of his own independence to depend on Radharani, to long for her association, to cry for her, to cry in separation. That is the beauty of Vrindavan Dham. So, Thakur Bhaktivinoda says that it is Krishna, it is Radharani on whom Krishna is dependent. Krishna loves, although he is Swatantra, unlimitedly independent personality. Independence is one of his nature. But out of his independence, he chooses to take shelter of Radharani. And that makes the love complete. He reciprocates to Radharani's love by becoming subordinate to her love, by becoming controlled by her. And all this personality of Radharani, how do we access her? We access her by chanting her name, Radhe. Radhe Kishori Daya Karo. Please be merciful upon me. Kada karishyasi hamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. Hey Radhe, kada karishyasi hamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. O Radha, when you will cast your sidelong merciful glance upon me, because when you will cast your sidelong glances upon me, kripa kataksha, I will be delivered, I will be blessed. I am longing for you to look at me, to acknowledge my presence. I am so insignificant, but I need your glance. I need your merciful glance. Because when you accept us as your own, then Krishna cannot refuse us as his own. So please accept us. Please be merciful upon us. Please give us that love with which we can serve Krishna. Please bestow that love upon us by which Krishna can accept us through you. Please accept us so that we can be accepted by Krishna. That's why we chant Hare Krishna. We chant Hare before Krishna, because Hare is the Sambodhan, calling of Hara. Hara, when we call, we say Hare. Sita, when we call, we say Site. So like that, Hare, when we say, it is Radharani, calling for Radharani. So Krishna will turn and see, who is calling my beloved Radharani? And then you will call Krishna. So he will hear your calling and he'll accept you. So that's why we chant Hare Krishna. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So let us all chant Hare Krishna and seek blessings, plead for mercy, cry for mercy, and Radharani will come running to accept us mercifully and offer us as an offering to Sri Krishna, and our life will be successful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. May Radharani bless you Tomorrow is Radhashtami, the day when she is extremely merciful. All those who are intelligent will pray to her, seek blessings from her, offer her prayers, so that we can please Krishna through her grace. And with our little tiny efforts, coupled with her blessings, we beg to her that we will want to please Krishna only through her grace. So I wish you all the best for praying tomorrow for her grace and become successful in life. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a enlightening class. So as we released your class during last time, Radha Ashtami, same way we have released this time also. Thank you so much for coming on the call. So we had you on the call, I think it was 2 months before, and we wanted you, especially for this Radha Ashtami, to give this special lecture. And you beautifully narrated how all the Devis are the expansions of Srimati Radharani. So as it comes in Radha Kripa Kataksha Savaraja, it comes right like Makeshri, Kriyeshri, Sudeshwari, Sureshwari, everyone is the expansion
all the
of
Devis,
Srimati.
all the Ishwari.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we relished all the pastimes which you told that the 400 form of Vishnu, and you told about Yamuna Devi and Govardhan, how they were created. And yes, we want you once again on the call to expand, to tell about Yamuna Devi, how she has descended, the importance of Yamuna Devi, as you told.
Sure,
so we think the day will come soon, and we will have you soon to give us the nectarian lecture on that also. And yes, lastly, which you told about, yes, Prabhuji, yeah. So questions is
maybe
yeah, there are hand raised, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Shukar,
Yes,
Prabhuji, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, please ask, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Wait, 1 minute. I'll open the sound. I had locked the sound. Okay, now you can speak.
The host, yeah. Hare Krishna, Vishwarup Dandavat Pranam Vishwakar Krishnadas. I met you in Govardhan Eco Village.
Yes, very recently.
Back. Yes, Prabhu. So Radharani, you brought so much close. So what you said was Radharani, that Hare Krishna means we are, Krishna is inviting Radharani, and Hare Krishna, and Krishna Krishna Hare Hare means it is separation. The one is
yes, Mahamantra has got many understandings. Mahamantra is Hare Krishna is Milan, meeting. And Krishna Krishna Hare Hare is separation. So Sanyoga and Viyoga both are exhibited in Mahamantra.
Okay.
Yes.
I understand.
Thank you. So Sureshwar Sharan Prabhu, you have to show yourself. Then I can highlight you, spotlight you, please.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So Prabhuji, one question I have. You were saying, but thank you, Prabhu, for narrating this in a sweet way, all the pastimes. So one question, Prabhu, see, Krishna, Radharani is an energy expansion of Krishna, right, Prabhu?
Yes.
And like you were saying, but Radharani is teaching Krishna how to dance and all other things. Right? So,
yes, so what is the question?
So that is the question, Prabhu. How,
yes.
like,
how
can, how can, who is, one of the energies of Krishna, teach Krishna?
I already explained to you that energy of Krishna, when it becomes personified as Radharani, the energy of Krishna gets multiplied millions of times. The Karuna of Krishna becomes millions of times. That is the whole beauty of Radharani's personality. Krishna's qualities, they become multiplied in Radharani's personality. So much so that Radharani, Krishna desires to become subordinate to her. That is why he wants to learn from her. He wants to show the world that the faculty of love that is in him manifests itself as Radha, multiplying the love faculty millions of times, so much so that I want to become subordinate to that love. That means he wants to tell everybody that if you want to achieve me, there is no other way but love. And then he exhibits that fact. in the form of Radharani. In the example of Radharani, he wants to tell all of us that don't expect that I will be conquered by you by any material means. I will be achievable only through love. And see the example of Radharani, how I am subordinate to her love. So we are not trying to conquer Krishna or control Krishna. We want to just be accepted by him, and that is possible only by love. So the power of love is so much that Krishna is telling us that this is so much powerful that I will become subordinate. I will become yours. Okay. So,
very nice, Prabhu.
Monica Avasti Mataji, can you show yourself and then I can take your question? Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was Ram. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. First of all, it's a wonderful class and it's a power backup for preparing our consciousness for Radhashtami.
Tomorrow.
Prabhuji, my question.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, my question is, you told that Jo Radha, can I speak in Hindi?
Yeah, no problem. Feel comfortable.
Yeah. प्रभु जी, आपने कहा कि जो ये है गोवर्धन है, वो राधा, जो जब कृष्णा ने मेडिटेट किया राधा जी के लव के लिए, मतलब राधा का लव जब उन्होंने मेडिटेट किया तब गोवर्धन प्रकट हुए, है ना, गोवर्धन विष से प्रकट हुए. देन हाउ कैन, और मैंने ये मतलब बलराम पूर्णिमा के लेक्चर में मैंने सुना था प्रभु जी की जो वो है, मतलब जो बलराम जी हैं वो शांत रस में एज मतलब जो एक्सपेंशन है, जो भी मतलब जितने भी जो टेंशन एरियाज है, और हाँ, मेरा पॉइंट है प्रभु जी की कैसे ये मुझे थोड़ा सा ये कंफ्यूज, मतलब इस बात में मैं इस चीज में कंफ्यूज हो गई कि हम इस चीज को कैसे, क्योंकि बलराम पूर्णिमा के लेक्चर में मैंने सुना था प्रभु जी की जो वो है गोवर्धन है और जो यमुना जी है वो भी एक तरीके से इनकी एक्सपेंशन है बलराम जी की.
देखो ऐसा है आई विल एक्सप्लेन टू यू. हिंदी बताऊं इंग्लिश बताऊं?
Whatever Prabhu ji, I can understand.
So I'll explain to you the external format of Vrindavan Dham. That means the bhumi, the trees, Krishna's bed, Krishna's clothes, Krishna's ornaments, peacock feather, everything is Balram. Okay, and even Govardhan is also Balram from that point of view, because Shantaras, he expands into all the infrastructure of Vrindavan Dham. But essentially and internally, Govardhan Parvat is love of Krishna for Radharani. It's like you have two hands, two eyes, but you also have a heart, right? Your hands and eyes and heart is different. Heart is full of emotions and hands and legs are expressing that emotion. So to make you understand easily, your hands and ears and eyes are Balaram like Balaram. And your heart is like Radharani. So the love for Krishna, love of Krishna for Radharani, in essence is Govardhan, but external format of Govardhan is Balramji. And Balramji also is love. He also has love, but his love is of different type. And Radharani's love is different type. It's like you may love your brother and you love your husband. Both are love only, selfless love, but they are different love. So like that, Radharani's love for Krishna is different and Balram's love for Krishna is different. And they both are selfless, but they are still different. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else who has a question, comment, doubt?
Yes, PV Sudhakar Prabhuji, please go ahead.
You can highlight him, spotlight him. Where is he?
Yeah, he's here.
Radhe Radhe.
Who's speaking?
Sudhakar is speaking here.
If you can show yourself video positive, then I can. Okay, please speak.
Yeah, it was a very nice section actually. I learned stories
from which place?
Actually, I'm from Saudi Arabia. Actually,
right now in Saudi.
Yeah.
Which place?
Al-Khobar.
Oh, I was in Dammam one time.
I remember. Okay.
Please tell me, what is your question?
First, I should thank for this wonderful session. I learned a lot something about Leela, which I never had. I think that is the first thing I should say. And my question is not a question. Actually, I have a doubt. What I learned from so far, I'm not an expert. Vyasi. We say Mahamantra is Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That is the Mahamantra.
We don't say Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. We say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Yeah.
Hare Ram, Hare
So
Ram,
that is
Ram Ram, Hare.
considered to be as a Mahamantra.
Yes.
And what I understood, of course, is the lecture or something is, yes, we all know the bhakti is love towards God is nothing but loving towards God's devotees. One form is Radharani. So if that is the case, why instead of Hare Krishna, Radha Krishna is not mentioned there?
So you are asking why not Radha Krishna, why Hare Krishna?
Yeah, I'm just having a doubt.
Yeah, so you are right, and there is also evidence in scriptures. There are two mantras. One is Maha Mantra, one is Yugal Mantra. Yugal Mantra is Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Sham, Sham Sham, Radhe Radhe. This Yugal Mantra was given by Lord Shiva to his wife Parvati Devi. Okay, and that is also bona fide. And the Brajavasis chant Yugal Mantra, and that is completely bona fide. And another is Maha Mantra, that is given in Kali Santarana Upanishad, where it is mentioned that in Kali Yuga this will be most prevalent and Lord will come himself down to propagate this mantra. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna himself came down and propagated Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So when we go to Vrindavan, we meet Brajvasis, they chant Radhe Krishna, and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And both of us respect each other. Both things are right. The word Hara has got a typical meaning. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us Hare Krishna Maha Mantra because the word Hara is the name of Radharani, Hara Devi. What is the meaning? One who steals the heart of Krishna. That is called Hara. Haran means stealing. So she, by her personality, by her power of love, steals the heart of Krishna. And when we address Hara, it becomes Hare. So when we say Hare Krishna, we are always addressing that personality who steals the heart of Krishna by power of love. So we are teaching ourselves, it is love only which can steal Krishna's heart. We also can steal his heart by love. So we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And Brajvasis chant Radhe Krishna and Radhe Sham. Both are bona fide. There is nothing wrong in that. Nothing higher, nothing lower. Nothing, no comparison.
I understand that, but I was trying to know why people
we should take one. We should not mix up things and create something on our own. We have received Hare Krishna Maha Mantra from our Sampradaya, from our Guru Maharaj. So we chant. And those people who receive Yugal Mantra from their Sampradaya, their Guru, they will chant. And they should honor. They should be committed and dedicated to the mantra which they receive from their lineage. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm sure it's very tough to chant Hare Krishna in Al Khobar and Dammam.
I chant in my house. I
Yeah,
know
in the house you can chant.
Saudi,
In the house you can chant.
in Saudi it is not publicly, you cannot do much.
Yes,
because
yes.
It's a religious country.
So Shama Gauri Devi, please ask.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Babuji, thank you so much for the
Jai, Jai.
beautiful nectarian class. It's like,
Radhe Radhe. You are very
we got
Radhe.
dipped in nectar, It's very nice beginning of Radhashtami. Radhashtami is today in USA.
Oh, I see.
Tomorrow,
I see.
yeah, that's
Wow,
right.
wow. What is the time now there?
It's almost 9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 in the morning, huh? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I wanted to say some Sureshwar Shamprabhu, I think he's gone. He wanted
I
to
was
say.
telling you that I am happy to see you wearing Radhe Radhe.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Prabhuji, I have question like when Krishna took the four-handed form and when the Radharani's bhav, he sees the Radharani's bhav and the two hands, they just disappear. So, and nobody wears forehand in Vrindavan. but in Vaikuntha everybody is four-handed. So what is the significance of having four hands in Vaikuntha?
Aishwarya, opulence. Why four only? There are many arms. Lord has got 8 arms, 12 arms, 16 arms, thousands arms.
Yeah.
So having more than 2 arms, meaning Aishwarya, opulence. And those more than 2 arms are never empty. They either have chakra, or they have sword, or they have parshu, they have ankusha, they have lotus flower. They have so many things are there. So 4 arms and more than 4 arms means Aishwarya. Krishna also exhibited 12-armed form at a place called Chatikara near Govardhan, near Vrindavan. This Garuda Govinda Mandir, where he exhibited a form of 12 arms.
Oh.
There's a temple of Garuda Govinda near Chatikara.
Yeah, I visited Prabhuji recently.
So that form has got 12 arms.
We didn't see the deities because they were covered with cloth, only like a tip of nose of
you have to come with me. When you come with me, I will be able to show you.
Prabhuji, not that fortunate because it's very difficult to match.
I'm in November now, and I'll be taking devotees to Garuda Govinda also. So, point I was telling you that Krishna has manifested forms of many arms at many different times. But those forms do not remain for long time in Vrindavan, because Vrindavan is overwhelmed with love and madhurya. So he cannot maintain his opulence for longer time. It just melts away immediately. Any other question?
Yeah, and one more question, like Hare Krishna is like Milan, and Krishna Hare Hare. Like, can you explain a little more about that?
Well, this is a very deep subject. In short, Mahamantra is complete and perfect. Mahamantra gives you experience of separation, Viyoga, and Mahamantra also can give you experience of Milan, meeting of Krishna. We have to go in the depths of Mahamantra. We cannot just chant mechanically, number game we should not do. We should call out Krishna. I always request people, don't just chant. Don't just finish your rounds. Chant your rounds. I think first thing I say, we are always racing, number game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16. Don't finish your rounds. Chant your rounds. And then I say, don't chant your rounds. Call Krishna. You call every name. Every name is meant for calling. Why your name is Shama Gauri? Because we want to call you by that name. Why my name is Vishwarupdas? Because I want others to call me by that name. Some name is there, I can turn to you when that name is called. So all names are supposed to be for calling only. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the 16 names are for calling only. We are supposed to call. We're supposed to call Krishna and catch his attention. And when we call with feeling, then his attention is caught. We attract him. And when we do that, then this experiences of separation in the beginning, then meeting Krishna will reveal to you himself in the name of his own. When you call the name, one day will come in your and my life where Krishna will reveal himself through his name. And for that we have to hanker. Not 16 rounds, then throw the mala in mala and forget about it till next morning. You don't want to do anything with that. So that's why I'm saying that this Mahamantra is extremely studied with unlimited power. We have to only realize it by chanting attentively and prayerfully, gratefully, and gracefully. Okay?
Yeah.
Everything is there in the holy name. Whatever you need is there in the holy name. Everything is contained in the holy name, Mahamantra, and everything will be available to you through the holy name only, nothing else. Okay, thank you. So, Pooja Arora Mataji, please ask next question.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, Pooja Mataji.
Open your audio, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji, boli na.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want.
I'm not able to hear you.
Radharani.
I'm not able to hear you, Mataji. You're cutting in between.
Hare Krishna.
हाँ बोलिए ना.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji, Dandvat Pranam.
हाँ दंडवत प्रणाम.
Prabhu ji, I am to glorify Radharani today with two lines. If you allow me.
हाँ please speak quickly.
राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, बोलो बरसाने वारी की जय जय जय, बोलो बरसाने वारी की जय जय जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय. हरे कृष्ण. राधे राधे.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puja Mataji. Prabhuji, I have one question. In Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's myself, Anita Ramya.
Can you highlight yourself, please? Yes, please. Yes, Mataji, bolo na.
Yes. Prabhuji, actually, in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we say that Radha and Krishna, first line, and second is it comes Ram. So Ram and Hare, right? So in that we can mean it as Ram and Sita, or how it is, Prabhuji?
Okay, see, Mahamantra of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is only about Krishna's names. Okay, very simple. Is only Krishna's names. So what is the meaning of Ram? Is that personality who gives pleasure.
Pleasure, yeah.
Ramanti iti Ramaha. It also means Sri Krishna, who is pleasure, the source of all pleasure. It also means Balaram. It also means Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra also. So we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the meaning that it is Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna only. But there is no problem if you think he is Balaram, or if you think he is Lord Ramachandra. There is no problem at all. As long as you address the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is perfect. No problem at all. Is it okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. And one more question I have.
Yes.
Can I ask Prabhuji?
Yes, please ask.
Prabhuji, actually, this is one question which I have for a long time from last Radha Ashtami. I have this question. Like last time you were saying that the mountain used to fly. So that pastime you were narrating last time. So in that, in one place you told Radha is younger than Krishna or elder than Krishna. So I have a confusion in that. So when I say
it's a long story which tells you exactly she is younger also and older also than Krishna.
Okay.
Now it will take another half an hour.
How to understand that, Prabhuji? Because I have this question.
There is a story which explains you how she is older and how she is younger. Both things are there in that story. So it will take another half an hour for me to tell the story.
Okay, I will
again I will tell you the story. Okay.
Maybe next time, Prabhuji, we will have.
You propose in such a way that remind me to tell the story. I will tell the story.
Okay. Yes.
Now your time, I am available, but your time is up, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah, time is up, but half an hour is more. Like by 10 minutes, it's okay.
10-15 minutes, it's okay.
Okay, you want me to tell in short? Okay, I'll tell you in short.
Yeah.
Then you don't blame me because I made it mechanical, but I'll tell you.
No.
I always like to tell story in a very descriptive and a very beautiful way. But anyway, Vindhya Parvat, Vindhya Parvat worshipped, performed tapasya because Himalaya Parvat got Parvati Devi as daughter. So Vindhya Parvat also did tapasya and he got 2 daughters. That is Radharani and Chandravali. Okay. So the original father and mother of Radharani and Chandravali is Vindhya Parvat, Vindhyachala. And then he had done tapasya asking for a girl who will be having a husband greater than Lord Shiva, because Parvati Devi, daughter of Himalaya, got married to Mahadev. So he said, I want to have a girl whose husband will be greater than Lord Shiva. So then he got Radharani and Chandravali. Okay. Out of Chandravali, Radharani was that girl who will be having husband as Krishna, who is higher than Lord Shiva. So this news went to Kamsa that someone is born whose husband will be more powerful than Lord Shiva also. So he wanted to marry that girl so that he will become powerful more than Lord Shiva. So he sent Putana. By that time, Radharani had grown up like, toddler baby, almost less than a year. Putana went and she captured these two girls and she started flying in the sky towards Mathura. So Vindhyachal came to know that, oh, my daughters are captured by these demoness. So he told his Purohits, come quickly put up the fire sacrifice and chant mantras to burn this lady in the sky. So they chanted such mantras and offered oblations that Putana Devi, Putana flying in the sky, started feeling fire in her body. So she dropped one girl, that is Chandravali, in Nagpur, in Vidarbha Desha. Bhishmaka, the later who became father of Rukmini, raised her for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, Purnamasi came and took her to Vrindavan, gave her to Chandrabhanu Maharaj, and she became Chandravali. Okay. Then Putana kept on flying, and then she went towards Mathura. Almost she went to Mathura, and the mantras were creating fire and fire and fire more and more. And she just could not hold Radharani in her hand. So she dropped her. And Radharani fell early morning on the lotus flower in Yamuna. And that was 15 days after Krishna's birth. So that girl, who was grown-up girl, less than 15 years, 1 year minus 15 days, was taken by Vishwanu Maharaj and she became his daughter. So she is older to Krishna also because she was born in Vindhyachal. And she's younger to Krishna also because she was brought by Vishwanu Maharaj after 15 days of Krishna's birth. So by this way, she is 15 days younger to Krishna and 345 days older to Krishna also.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This doubt is cleared now. Thank you so much.
Yes,
it was a very long time question for me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shamagari Mataji, for bringing Prabhuji again on the call.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
You have a question?
Actually, Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually, today I was just hearing Amarendra Prabhu, he was telling Hare Krishna is Radha Krishna Milan, as he said, and Krishna Krishna Hare Hare is separation, and Hare Rama, he said Rama is Radha Madhav, they are always together. Hare Rama and Rama Rama Hare Hare. So I think it's all, as he said, it's only Krishna, nobody else.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Shamagori Mataji, you have a question? Shamagori Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So what we celebrate today, Radharani, is which one is it? Is it when she came to Vrindavan?
She came to Vrindavan. She came to Vrindavan. Yes. We celebrate the day when she was brought in Vrindavan. Because her destination is Vrindavan. Her real birth is considered to be in Vrindavan. Technically it is Vindhyachal, but the real birth is in Vrindavan, where she wants to be, she wants to reach, she wants to go where Krishna is, she wants to express her love. In Vindhyachal, where is Krishna? There is no Krishna there. So Braj Bhumi is her destination. And that is why we celebrate Bhadrapad Shukla Ashtami as the birthday of Radharani. Okay? So we end here.
Yes, so yes, Prabhuji.
Take your permission with all the best wishes for all of you for Radhashtami. May Radharani bless all of you with love and selfless service. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association. It was just a wonderful, wonderful class and so nice explanation and pastimes. Devotees, let's pay our obeisances. We want you often, frequently to come on the call and enlighten us with your lectures and pastimes, Prabhuji. Devotees will pay our obeisances.
My honor and pleasure to serve you. Always.
Haribol.
Vancha Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai.
Radhe Radhe.
Vishwarupdas ki jai. Radhashtami Mahotsav ki jai.